There's a version of you that existed before everyone had their opinion about who you should be. Before the job title, before the responsibilities, before the roles you've spent decades filling for everyone else. Before the parents, the teachers, the bosses chimed in. Somewhere along the way, that version of you started disappearing. If you've been feeling like a stranger in your own life lately, stay with me. I'm going to give you 4 AI prompts that will help you do in one afternoon what took me years to figure out. I want to tell you how I got here. Not the polished version, the real one. It happened gradually. Work got more demanding and I started feeling like I was falling behind. Friendships got more complicated. Health issues started showing up. Nothing life-threatening, just the quiet accumulation of midlife doing what midlife does. Perimenopause, blood pressure creeping up, you know. You tackle each thing as it comes. You adapt. You keep going, just trying to get through each day, like the time to make the donuts guy. And then one day you look up and ask, how did I get here? The person living your life doesn't feel like you anymore. So I did what most of us do. I looked outward for the answer. I explored religion. I contemplated getting a new job. I joined a writing group and became a writer, sort of. A friend of mine was a knitter, so I started knitting. I would dive deep into whatever other people around me were doing. Online groups, board appointments, certifications, the whole thing, wondering why nothing felt like it was the right fit for me. I pulled out at one point an old Clifton Strengths assessment I'd taken years earlier when I was considering a different career path. Number 1, empathy. I remember when I first opened that document and saw that word, I cried, frustrated tears. I looked at empathy as a weakness, not a strength. Empathy isn't going to get me a new job. It's not a skill I can market. It won't fix anything, so I put it away and forgot about it. But when I pulled that back out and looked at it again, something was different. Empathy felt true to me. It felt like something I'd been before I became who everyone else wanted me to be. I started paying attention to what actually moved me, not what I thought should move me. One of the things that came to mind was the amount of time I spent watching YouTube videos. I watched a lot of different videos, but without fail each week, I'd watch 2 specific YouTube channels. Rocky Kanaka, who sits with shut down dogs in shelters and loves them back to life. And Midlife Stockman, who quietly mows overgrown lawns in Detroit for people who need a little extra help. Quiet, consistent acts of showing up for people with no agenda. That's what I wanted my life to be about. I'm a programmer. I love YouTube. I'd been using AI to work through some of my own midlife questions, and I thought maybe I can do that. Show up for people like me. Share what I'm figuring out as I figure it out. That's what this channel is. And the first time someone commented and said, "Thank you, this helped," 32 subscribers in, that was enough. Actually, that was everything. I share this because I want you to understand. Finding yourself again doesn't arrive as some light bulb above your head. It's a slow, imperfect, but completely worthwhile return to something that has always been there inside of you. Like Dorothy learning, there's no place like home. And here's what I wish I'd had sooner. A tool that could help me ask better questions of myself. That's where AI comes in. Not to tell you who to be, but to help you remember who you are. As Oscar Wilde said, be yourself. Everyone else is already taken. Now, the 4 prompts. Let's go through them. The first place to look isn't forward, it's backward. I know that sounds weird. All the way back to before anyone influenced who you became. Who were you as a child? Not what career you imagined, what kind of person were you? What did you care about before the world got too loud to hear your own thoughts? Most of us can answer that question. We just haven't asked it for a very long time. Here's how to use AI to explore it. I want to reconnect with who I was before other people's expectations shaped me. When I was a child, I remember being, and then describe what you remember about your childhood. Were you curious, caring, creative, adventurous, trusting? Fill in that bracket. Help me explore what those qualities look like in an adult life and where they might have gotten buried over time. Fill in that bracket honestly. Don't perform, don't write what sounds good. Write the actual truth. What comes back won't be a career path. It won't be a new fashion choice. It will be something more fundamental. The values and traits that were always yours. For me, that was empathy, trust, wanting to help people. I'd known that my whole life. I just hadn't let it be enough. Once you start seeing who you actually are, the next question is, why have you been doing something else? Most of us have a pattern. Mine was mirroring, diving into whatever the people around me were doing, hoping I'd find myself in their reflection. Knitting because a friend knitted, writing because it seemed like a good way to meet other introverts, going deep into certifications and forums, not because I was genuinely passionate about those things, but because I was trying to belong. The problem was never the activity. I was using external things to answer an internal question. AI is surprisingly good at pattern recognition, not in a clinical way, but in a way a thoughtful friend might gently say, I notice you keep doing this thing. Why do you think that is? Here's the prompt. I've noticed a pattern in my life. I tend to describe your pattern. Is it take on too much? Mirror what other people are doing? Saying yes when you mean no? Abandoning things before you get them done? Help me understand what might be driving this pattern and what it might be trying to tell me about what I actually need. Don't approach this with judgment. Approach it with curiosity. The pattern isn't the problem, it's the message. And once you understand the message, you stop needing the pattern. Go deep on this one. After you get that initial response back from AI, ask yourself why. Why you keep doing this. Sakichi Toyoda, founder of Toyota Industries, developed a technique often referred to as the 5 whys. He explained that you need to keep asking why until you get past the surface layers of an issue and get to the origin of that problem. The number doesn't have to be 5, but keep asking why until you feel like you've reached your underlying truth. Here's the hardest question of midlife self-discovery. What do you actually want? You hear me, right? I know we've all been there. Not what makes sense, not what looks good, not what the people in your life need from you. What do you want? That question is surprisingly difficult when you've spent years making yourself useful to everyone else. The muscle for knowing what you want can get pretty weak. One of the most useful things you can do is pay attention to what moves you. Not what you think should move you, what actually does. The YouTube channels you come back to every week. The stories that stay with you. The moment where something clicks and feels real. Those things are telling you something. This prompt helps you hear it. I want to figure out what I actually want for my life right now. Not what I think I should want, not what others expect of me. Here are some things I know I value, and then list them. Here are some things that have felt most alive and real to me recently, and list those. Help me identify what they have in common and what that might be pointing me toward. Don't rush to create those lists. Really think about it and read what comes back. It might not be a clear answer. It might just be a direction. But a direction is enough to start moving forward. Okay, so you've done some hard work. This last prompt takes everything you've uncovered and asks one simple question. What does living as this new you actually look like? Not in theory, in your real life with your real schedule and your real responsibilities. This is where a lot of people get stuck. The self-discovery work feels meaningful but abstract. This prompt makes it concrete. Based on what I've just shared about my values and what matters the most to me, help me imagine what a week could look like for me if I were living more authentically. Not a perfect version, a realistic one, given my actual life right now. What would I be doing more of? What would I be doing less of? What would I let go of completely? The goal isn't a plan, it's a direction. A small, honest answer to the question, what is one thing I could do differently this week that would help me feel more like me? That's how it starts. Not a huge transformation, a restoration. One small step at a time, back towards something that was always there, the real you. Finding yourself is the gradual, imperfect, completely worthwhile process of peeling back everything that isn't you and getting reacquainted with what is. AI won't do that work for you, but it can help you uncover the person you've buried beneath the weight of everyone else's expectations. 4 prompts, 1 afternoon. That's where you start. When you're done, tell me the one thing you knew about yourself as a child that you've lost touch with. I can't wait to see everyone's comments on this. If this video resonated with you, please subscribe. I post new videos every week on using AI to make midlife a little more manageable. And next week, something closely related. We're going to talk about the pattern of seeking validation from the people around you and how AI helps you see it clearly enough to finally break it. That one is for anyone who has ever shaped themselves around what other people needed them to be, and I'm guilty myself. I'll see you there.